when did you buy the franchise, and what do you see as the biggest challenge so far? Is it getting help? Is it finding clients? What is the biggest challenge for you so far, Dwight?
Excellent question, Gary. We bought the franchise in July of 2014. We opened our door in November of 2014. And since then, but we knew beforehand because our franchisor is outstanding. I call senior helpers the McDonald's of in-care home. They're so thorough. They're so complete. Challenges, both. You're right on both. Getting employees as well as converting clients. The getting employee piece is so tough because in New Hampshire, in New England, for a couple of reasons. Many people who get their degrees or become certified in New England find that the cost of living in New England is prohibitive.
Mm-hmm.
Finding affordable housing in New England, and especially New Hampshire, is very tough. So having the young people to do it, that can be a challenge. As far as the seniors,
but how does that play out in your business?
How does
the fact that it's hard to find housing?
Well,
I mean, do you put people in somebody's house?
We do. Well, how it plays out in terms of recruiting people?
Yeah,
that means that as a employee, you're just as important as a client. Okay, and there are a lot of businesses where people don't feel that way. So we treat our employees very, very nice, and we try to pay them as best we can. In our business, most of the companies don't offer any type of benefits at all. We offer benefits, and we treat the folks like adults.
How many employees do you have?
Right now, we have 40 employees.
That's pretty good size.
That's pretty good size. But in our business, you got to remember too that many of the caregivers might be stay-at-home moms. There might be an RN who has retired, but has this passion to work with folks. We also hire a lot of nursing students. They get their LNA. They need to work. They need hours, working as an LNA to get their RN license. And so we do work with students too.
So what areas do you cover? Boston, Maine. I mean, it says Greater Seacoast, but yes. that covers a whole lot of territory.
Yeah, that could be like up and down.
well, my wife and I bought a territory in New Hampshire, Rockingham and Stratford counties. I'm sure you guys are familiar with those counties. It covers Portsmouth, Brentwood, Exeter, Stratham, all the way up to Rochester. Now, there are several Boston-based senior helpers, too. So I want to let people know who might be hearing this, we have some very well-run franchises right here in Massachusetts.
And how do you make sure that the people that you do hire are doing the job? What type of accountability and structure do you have within the franchise itself to ensure that they're doing well? Where's the accountability?
That's a great question.
That is a great question, Gary, and thank you for asking me that, because it gives me a chance to talk about the difference between senior helpers and our competition. And when I was speaking to Ian before I stepped in here, our franchisor, who started this company 15 years ago. There are 300 franchises now. He started this company 15 years ago. He started working with, his mother was working with his grandmother. And he found out how difficult it was to find people who were professional and trustworthy and who would engage his grandmother, okay, and not babysit his grandmother. So knowing that, he instituted some very high standards for anybody who wanted to be a franchisee. And those standards start with the criminal background check, the Bureau of Elder Services, because you can have an offense against you with the Bureau of Elder Services, but it won't come up as a criminal record. So we have to do a double check. Okay, say for instance, there was some neglect on the part of a certain party. That wouldn't be a criminal. It wouldn't be on your criminal record. But would you want that person, if they had neglect of an elder, would you want that person working for you as a caregiver? No. We do that. We do the credit check. We call on all the references that are given to us. We all our LNAs have to be certified by the state, and they have to pass the state exam. And then on top of that, Senior Helper says 600 hours of online study modules for its franchisees. That covers front office people, it covers owners, and I would think 2/3 cover caregivers.
So there's a testing process.
There is a testing
within your organization.
Rigorous and ongoing. There's 600 hours. 600 hours.
So you have to be recertified along the way.
Every year the caregivers have to be recertified, but within that year, we certify them to coach up their abilities. Okay, yeah.
That's really a fabulous tool. Is there any state regulation of caregivers?
In New
Or is
Hampshire,
it state by state?
Mm-hmm. It's state by state. In New Hampshire, there is. We have to be licensed through the Department of Health and Human Services. There are a number of things that we have to do. Many of them, again, are instituted by our franchisor. We carry $3 million in general liability insurance. We must carry workers' compensation. That's by our franchisor. We must carry an auto rider, because if our caregiver wants to take you out, Gary, if you were using our services and you were involved in an accident, we want protection for you there. Even though the general liability should cover it, there's an auto rider there. Another thing that our caregivers have to have, they have to have a valid license. And we have to be put on there as a party to be notified if the license becomes inactive. They have to have insurance. We have to be put on their insurance as a party that needs to be notified if their insurance lapse. So we are doing a number of checks and balances to make sure that we have the highest quality people, and to make them feel that they are professional.